Glou, 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 et bonjour à tous, bonjour, bonjour, j'espère que vous allez très bien, j'espère que la caméra, aujourd'hui, va pas faire de sienne. J'ai essayé de régler normalement, et salut Liénor. Comment il va le petit Liénor? Comment il va le Lyonnais? Comment ça se passe ce mercato? Vous avez plus de sous et vous achetez des joueurs, vous. Ça c'est la meilleure, je ne sais pas comment vous faites, hein. Faudra m'expliquer comment on fait à Lyon pour ne pas avoir d'argent, mais en avoir quand même. Hein. Bon, j'espère que tu vas bien, j'espère que tes grandes vacances se passent bien. Tu te rends compte que dans 3 mois et demi, 4 mois, on va se voir. Et ouais, à enfin pouvoir la boire, notre petite bière. Bah faut comprendre comment fonctionne. Ah bah ouais, bah alors ça, moi, je n'y comprends rien. Hein. Je n'y comprends rien, à part que Sport Interactive nous fait toujours attendre. Eh bien, en tout cas... Attends, ce que je vais faire, je vais me mettre comme ça pour discuter avec toi 5 minutes. Ouais, rends-toi compte, dans quelques mois, hein, tu vas enfin pouvoir payer ta bière, parce que je disais, on va pouvoir boire une bière ensemble. Non, tu vas pouvoir payer ta bière, c'est pas pareil. Moi, je comprends les finances. Liénor, il est quelque part, il paye une bière. Les recrutements pour le moment, ah ouais, ouais, bah oui, c'est pas simple. Hein. Moi, j'ai vu hier, un reportage, non, j'ai entendu un petit retour à Monaco, là. A priori, Fati, c'est une catastrophe. C'est pas du tout comme il faut. Ils sont pas a priori, hein, les retours des analystes de Monaco, c'est pas bon. Et Pogba, il savait que l'endurance, ça sera un problème forcément. Il n'a pas joué pendant 2 ans, je crois, 1 an et demi. Bon, il est quand même tanké le bonhomme, hein, mais bon, il est un peu plus vieux. Mais par contre, le retour, c'est que le niveau technique de Pogba est apparemment pas bon du tout. Ils ont fait, il y a plein le gars qui parlait, ouais, je suis assez d'accord avec toi. Il disait que Pogba, bon, il pouvait pas avoir perdu son foot en 2 ans, c'est pas possible, etc. Machin, que quand le talent est inné, etc. Mais apparemment, eh bien, le retour des analystes, le retour data de tout ce qui est petits jeux, tout ce qui était... Ah bah voilà, ah bah merci Liénor. Tu vois, comme quoi, des fois on est d'accord. Moi j'en parlais avec des potes qui me disaient mais non, le niveau technique, ça se perd pas. Le foot, tu le perds jamais. Oh, attends, bouge pas 2 secondes. Voilà, et moi je disais, bah oui, mais les gars, si physiquement t'es pas affûté, ou même que tes jambes elles sont pas rapides comme avant, eh bah, je suis désolé, hein, le petit pont, le machin, la vista, etc., bah tu l'as plus comme avant. Et on se foutait de ma gueule, on me disait, mais non, n'importe quoi, et tout ça, même si le mec il avance à rien, etc. Et à chaque fois, le point, entre guillemets, le point Godwin, c'était. Messi. Alors là, Messi, il a plus de physique, machin. Sauf que Messi, il a toujours été comme ça, à part en prime à 20 ans. Mais il a très vite développé ce jeu où il était marchait et bam, coup de rein et il partait. Et ben le coup de rein et tout ça, il l'a toujours, hein, même aux États-Unis. Alors évidemment, les défenseurs, ils sont moins affûtés, moins balèzes qu'en Europe. Donc du coup, ça passe souvent. En Europe, ça passait moins souvent parce que mais Messi a toujours eu. Et puis CR7, c'est pareil. Les mecs, ils ont jamais arrêté de jouer, donc ils ont toujours eu un sacré niveau, quoi. Bon, la caméra, elle a l'air là. Hein. Elle a l'air pas problème. Pas problème la caméra. Alors, attends, hop là, je revois. Alors, bah, les gens sont cons. Ils fassent un test. Tu prends 2 situations perso, tu fais un tir comme ça à l'arrêt, versus 2 fait 10 minutes d'effort et fait un tir, tu verras que la précision sera... Ah oui, aussi. Aussi, c'est clair. C'est clair, c'est clair, c'est clair. Tout à fait. Les gens se disent, oui, mais attends, il va bouger, il va pas bouger, il va rester au même endroit, tu sais. Ça va être un plot sur le terrain. Il sera comme ça, il attendra. Si le ballon, il est à 2 mètres, il va pas le chercher. À 1 mètre, il peut tendre la jambe, il le fait. Mais oui, clairement, c'est un exemple très, très, très parlant ce que tu dis, Eleanor. C'est clair que même si tu fais un mec 20 minutes, s'il doit faire 10 minutes d'effort pour essayer de récupérer le ballon, etc., bah évidemment. Mais en plus, là, moi, le truc que je te disais, les tests qui ont été passés, alors, ça peut être faux, hein. Je sais pas, hein, c'était les mecs d'RMC qui discutaient, mais généralement les insiders d'RMC, ils sortent pas des trucs juste pour le dire, quoi. Généralement c'est qu'ils ont des vrais retours de l'intérieur du club. Et le gars d'RMC disait que les exercices techniques, c'est pas des exercices où tu cours, machin, etc. C'est-à-dire des exercices où genre un taureau, quoi. Bim, tu reçois la balle, tu refais la passe, machin, tu refais la passe, machin, tu dois tirer dans un petit cerceau, etc. Et il disait que les résultats étaient pas bons. Oui, ça reste quand même, bien évidemment, c'est quand même, oui, évidemment, c'est pas un truc où les mecs bougent pas, qui sont les bras croisés, et puis qu'ils attendent. Évidemment, les passes sont toujours un petit peu décalées à droite, un petit peu décalées à gauche, faut faire un petit contrôle un peu dur, etc. Et puis, c'est pas des exercices de 40 secondes. C'est des exercices qui vont durer 10-15 minutes, 1 minute de repos, 10-15 minutes, 1 minute de repos, etc., etc. Bref, effectivement, je suis assez d'accord, le recrutement de Monaco est vraiment très risqué. Je sais pas. Voilà, on peut espérer. En vrai, il faut espérer. Enfin, moi, j'espère que Pogba retrouve un très bon niveau. Moi, personnellement, c'est pas un joueur que j'ai aimé. C'est pas un joueur qui me faisait rêver. J'ai jamais trouvé ce joueur ouf. Techniquement, c'est hyper fort, etc. Mais moi, c'est pas un joueur qui m'a vendu du rêve. Pour le moment, le LOSC qui fait peur. Mais Chevalier, il est parti ou pas du coup? Parce que alors moi, je t'avoue, là, je suis parti 15 jours en vacances, je n'ai rien suivi. J'ai juste entendu que, que Lucas Chevalier serait peut-être pisté par PSG. Alors, out, Baker, Goodmanson, David Gomez. Ah ouais, oula, ah oui, quand même. Baker, attends, Baker. Il a joué où, ce Baker? Il a pas joué à PSG? Il a pas joué à Paris, celui-là, Mitchell Baker? Mitchell Baker. Généralement, je suis assez bon sur tout ce qui est joueur... Attends. Ah, si, il a joué avec Paris. Ok. Et c'est un mec qui a fait sa carrière... Ah oui, mais c'est il y a longtemps, 2019-2021, ok. Ah oui, c'est un mec de l'Ajax, ok. Ah oui, il a fait toutes les équipes nationales U15, U16, U17, U18, U19, Espoir, Pays-Bas, d'accord, ok. Ah oui, alors qu'il est défenseur central, c'est ça? Attends, je regarde. Blablabla. Ah, il était défenseur gauche, c'est ça, à Paris? Ah ouais. Ok, Zegrova dans le loft. Ah, ces histoires de loft, les gars. Plus ailier gauche. Ok, d'accord. Et puis, bah oui, puis il y avait la fameuse histoire Hakimi, là. Alors moi, j'ai pas suivi non plus. C'est vous qui m'en avez parlé, toi ou sur le Discord, là. Alors, ah tiens, il y a des nouvelles, là. Il y a des nouvelles de 7 heures. Quelle répercussion pour le PSG et sa carrière? Pressenti pour le Ballon d'Or. Ah, c'est impossible, il peut pas avoir le Ballon d'Or avec ce... Ouais, et ouais, ça serait pas cool. Après, il y a un truc sur lequel je suis d'accord avec Barbe Bleue, je suis pas toujours d'accord, mais je suis sûr que ça va se régler à coups de millions. J'en suis sûr. Je dis pas que la nana a pas été violée. Hein. Attention, hein. C'est pas, ne me faites pas dire ce que je n'ai pas dit. Hein. Mais toutes ces histoires, ça se règle à coups de millions. Et le problème, c'est qu'à partir du moment où ça se règle à coups de millions, ça veut dire que le mec est innocent. Parce que c'est la même chose que... Enfin, ça veut pas dire qu'il est innocent, pardon. Non, attends, je reviens. Je reviens. Ça veut pas dire qu'il est innocent. Ça veut dire que le préjudice que la personne a subi, la nana estime que il n'est pas assez grave. Voilà. Pour moi, s'il y a viol, tu vas au bout. Quoi qu'on te propose. C'est encore pire même qu'à l'époque quand j'avais suivi beaucoup, parce que moi je suis un grand fan de Michael Jackson, quand on disait que Michael Jackson était pédophile. Michael Jackson n'était pas, alors attends, je n'étais pas son pote, hein, j'ai jamais été dans sa maison avec lui, tout ça, mais j'en ai l'intime conviction que Michael Jackson n'était pas pédophile. Par contre, Michael Jackson avait un vrai problème avec les enfants. Il avait un problème que lui, il voulait être enfant. Et c'était dans sa nature de dire, il n'y a aucun problème pour un adulte de dormir avec un enfant. Il n'y a pas de problème. Pour lui, c'était, il avait pas c'était un problème psychologique. Hein. Alors qu'Hakimi, je sais pas, c'est qui le, c'est son ex-femme qui le, alors attends. C'est qui porte plainte contre lui? Attends, je suis en train de lire hein, pendant que le joueur enchaînait les succès et collectionnait les trophées. Le témoignage de Mbappé. Mbappé. Et puis on est préparé à ça depuis le début de notre carrière. Achraf est respectueux avec les femmes, même alcoolisées. Je ne l'ai jamais vu avoir un comportement déplacé. Même les fois où je n'ai pas assisté à certaines scènes, j'ai jamais eu de retour d'amis qui me disaient qu'Achraf s'était mal comporté ou avait dépassé les limites. Son ex-femme le quitte car justement il y a cette histoire. Alors, son ex-femme, elle le quitte parce qu'il a été baisé ailleurs, surtout. Comment elle s'appelait? C'est Iba. Ah voilà, c'est ça. Iba Abouk. Voilà, c'est ça. Alors, elle est soupçonnée d'avoir. Ah ouais, d'accord. Oh, c'est quand même hyper glauque cette affaire-là. Révélée par cette histoire. Ah oui, d'accord, ok. Ok. Mais tu vois, c'est pareil que cette histoire avec Mbappé, quoi. L'histoire avec Mbappé, elle est arrivée, pouf, d'un seul coup comme ça. Et ça s'est réglé comment? Bah, on sait même pas comment ça s'est réglé. Il a pas du tout été inculpé. Hein. Par contre, Mbappé, là, c'est quand même c'est quand même le niveau du dessus. Il y a aussi il y a un Espagnol en ce moment qui a un gros problème là de, ouais, faute de preuves, ouais, c'est ça. Parce que là, il y a des, alors je suis pas vraiment l'affaire, mais il y a des preuves avec comment il s'appelle avec Hakimi. Alors, 3 jours, 2 jours, 2 jours. Ah ouais, je suis pas dans le dossier, oui, c'est clair. On y apprend de nombreuses révélations sur cette affaire entre le témoignage de Kylian Mbappé ou encore les messages cachés par la plaignante. Ouais, Hakimi aurait été forceur plus que plaignant. Oh, ah oui, mais attends, c'est un truc de ouf. C'est un truc de ouf. Il y a des échanges qui ont été cachés par la plaignante où la nana dit qu'elle veut mettre sa famille à l'abri, qu'elle va choper les codes, qu'elle va le dépouiller. On n'en a rien à foutre, on est des meufs de la cité. Ça doit être sa garçonnière, je pense pas que ce soit chez lui. Je vais quand même le baiser. Ouais, c'est pas net tout ça. Hein. C'est pas net, c'est pas net du tout, toutes ces histoires. Bon, hein, on va peut-être te parler de tout ça, et on va peut-être rejouer un petit peu à quelque chose. J'adore cette transition, je ne m'en lasse pas, j'adore. Glou, 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 glou. Bien. En tout cas, Nienor, hein, j'ai bien vu que tu as esquivé l'affaire. Hein. De toute la discussion, tu as esquivé l'affaire. On est bien d'accord, hein, que tu me dois une bonne bière, hein. Toi, là, ouais. Derrière ton petit écran, là, tu fais le malin. Allez, on va lancer The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Je vais vous dire un truc. Je ne sais absolument pas dans quoi je me lance. Apparemment, c'est un jeu complètement ouf. Enfin, c'est un non-jeu, apparemment. Je sais pas ce que c'est. Ça a fait un énorme carton à l'époque. Quoi ? En trailer. Ah oui, attends. 2h16 PM post-midi. Ça marche. Je te parie une 25 centilitres de croc. Si jamais tu fais ça, je te banne. Attendez. Quoi ? Avant de commencer, est-ce que je peux dire quelque chose ? Merci d'avoir vraiment réglé l'heure les 2 fois où vous avez lancé le jeu. Tant de gens ne prennent pas cette étape au sérieux, ils laissent l'heure régler sur midi et basta. Mais vous avez pris... Allez, parce que j'ai lancé le jeu tout à l'heure, pour voir s'il y avait des paramètres. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ces conneries ? Et je l'ai quitté. J'ai pas commencé le jeu. Je sais ainsi que vous vous sauciez de votre expérience, votre attention est focalisée sur le jeu. D'ailleurs, je n'ai aucun moyen de vérifier si l'heure que vous avez entrée est correcte. Je vais vous dire, nous allons passer un marché. Puisque vous faites preuve de tellement de bonne volonté, la prochaine fois que vous lancerez le jeu et verrez cet écran, vous n'aurez qu'à saisir votre heure préférée. C'est n'importe quoi. Ah ouais, d'accord, ma souris, c'est Inception le truc. Champ de vision, 72, sensibilité, ouais, inversé, l'axe des Y. Vibration des manettes. Alors désactivé, je jouerai pas la manette, mais audio, ça me paraît pas mal. Vidéo, mode sans écran, oui. Anti-aliasing, on peut augmenter ça ? Ouais. Type de qualité. Ouais. Heureusement que je peux jouer en maximal. Attends. Putain, heureusement que j'ai fait ça. Gauche, droite, espace. Bon. Commande simplifiée. Ah non, il y a autre chose. S'accroupir, sauter, interagir. Ça me paraît être pas mal. Très bien. Bien. Cliquez pour passer. Allez, les voix sont en VO.
Stanley worked for a company in a
Mais tout
big
sera en VF en
building
dessous.
where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul,
On dirait,
Stanley relished
je croirais
every
dans
moment that
Lost,
the orders
avec les chiffres 4, 8,
So he had
15,
been
16,
made
23,
exempt
42.
for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Eh ben alors s'il est happy, tout va bien.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, Partition Cop providing for Partition for 56 ans. Oh, ça a des airs de Blueprints, ça. Ça va me plaire. Ok.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Et ma
Stanley
porte.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I hate Monday. Ah d'accord.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Installation. Photocopie. Ouais. Ok, qu'est-ce qu'il dit lui là? I like work, I just hate my boss. Ok. Oh le beau paysage. C'est tout vide. J'espère que c'est pas un jeu qui fait peur. Hein. Parce que ça va me faire peur sinon. Donc, comment on va là? Ah ouais, par là. Je peux pas ouvrir. Ah si, on peut essayer. Merde. J'ai éteint l'ordi. Oh merde. C'était pas ce que je voulais faire. On peut interagir. Et donc là, je vais éteindre alors. Ah bah je vais éteindre tous les autres. Y a pas de raison qu'il y ait que moi qui soit emmerdé là.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
C'est drôle ça. Le machin qui est... Il analyse ce que je fais. Oh, quelqu'un a fait tomber sa tasse à café, c'est pas bien. Hein? Ah, je crois que c'était moi. Non, attends, on va laisser ouvrir parce que...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Quoi? De prendre celle de gauche? Et pourquoi je prendrais celle de gauche? Je suis un désobéisseur.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Drôle ça.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Donnez-moi à boire. Ils veulent pas me donner à boire.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Aha!
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ah, excellent. Ils me disent que j'ai pris la première porte à gauche. Ah, ne mentez pas. Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Alors, do not jump from the cargo. Lift where the information will cause death. Penalty for jumping 5000. 20 employés, d'accord. Ah! Faut que je me mette là-dessus, là?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Quoi? Ouais. Ah, c'est refermé là. Oula. Oula, 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 oula.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
What?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Ah.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Je touche le mannequin. Hein? Quoi? Bon, paramètres. Commande. Ah ah. Je peux pas sauter. Peut-être qu'il y a un bug. Commande. Interagir E, s'accroupir left control. sauter, je vais essayer left shift. Bah. What? Recommencer le jeu? Ah. Ok.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Je vais essayer de refaire la même chose. Qu'est-ce que c'est que...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5
Je vais voir si on peut
years
mourir.
ago. Look, Stanley, I think, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Bon, a priori... Attendez, bougez pas. Je veux regarder vite fait. Stanley Parade to jump. Ah, d'accord.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Donc là, j'ai
decided to
sauté,
go to
donc
the
c'était pas
meeting
bien.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
On va
The
réessayer, je
lounge
veux
was
comprendre.
sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me
Danger
prove
everywhere.
that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Je ne sais pas ce que je fais du tout.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Bien évidemment.
Perhaps you misunderstood.
What?
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Non.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Bon, on va y aller.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
1m4. 5?
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oula! This is you. Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Seulement 3% des joueurs ont choisi. Mais qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc? Hein, c'est quoi ça? Elle est derrière? Ah non. Ah.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Pas du tout.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Je vais me coucher. Ah, c'est ça, c'est Firewatch.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
Huh?
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Mais putain, c'est Rocket League.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Hold on.
Ah merde.
What are you doing?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. We still have...
Oula. Qu'est-ce que j'ai branlé, moi? Merde. What? De la lousse. Il y a de la lousse. Ah, me voilà dans mon bureau. Très bien. Hein? Bon, apparemment, on peut rien faire ici, hein. What?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Ouais.
I can wait.
Ouais. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah. What? Une putrécive. Hein? Qui a pété?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Non.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Alors.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Attendez, bougez pas 2 secondes. Alors, copier. Ok, alors.
That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Mais ce jeu, il est ouf. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, it can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Exit. Ah bah.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Ah. Moi, j'ai pas vraiment le choix, hein. Les portes s'ouvrent. Que va-t-on? Ouais, ça, on connaît. Quoi? Ah d'accord, ça s'est fermé. Quoi? Oui, d'accord, c'est la porte de derrière. Ok. J'essaye, hein, de ne pas faire... Ça va se fermer, ça. Eh ouais.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Pourquoi il y a tous ces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Bon, j'ai l'impression que là, cette fois, je vais être obligé d'y aller à droite, hein. À gauche, pardon.
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. Thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story.
My story.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Évidemment que non!
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. behave exactly as Stanley would. That
Bon,
means
je crois que
choosing
cette fois, il faut le
responsibly
faire.
and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bon, allez.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Profit, 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 profit. The number of slides of this on this slide. N'importe quoi. Market report. Si vous avez un conflit avec une autre personne, soyez vous-même. Ouais, d'accord, ok, bon. Les tips pour pas se faire virer, ne pas se faire virer. Ok, bon. Broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Allô. Rien à faire ici. Oh.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath
Le
and
panda.
then spoke the code.
Panda 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Non, c'est pas vrai. Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices.
Paramètres. Audio. Non, non, y a rien de micro.
He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me?
You hear me?
Are you there? You're listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Hein? What?
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Bah, il est éteint celui-là.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On va voir. A priori, non. On va aller à droite, hein, bien sûr.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
What?
Yes, really, really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Non.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Ouais, donc là, on peut rien faire. Donc là, on ne peut rien faire. A priori, hein...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Ah. What? On peut commencer le jeu?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Merde, c'est fermé. Uh-huh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Il n'y a pas grand-chose qui a du sens. Hein.
He began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No,
Ah bah oui,
Stanley said to
c'est
himself,
toujours
this
pareil
is
là.
all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starship. And it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Ouais, voilà,
And
c'est
while
ça.
he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Ouais, mais là, je fais le tour, quoi.
Beyond a doubt that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go
Ce
back
jeu
to my
est extrêmement
job.
étrange. Hein.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ok.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Oh, et moi,
And
là,
then
faut...
she turned and ran.
Bah... What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Que si je reviens en arrière, je vais trouver un ordinateur allumé. Aucun des ordinateurs n'est allumé et ma room est fermée. Donc là, je vais faire comme tout à l'heure, je vais partir à droite et à gauche pour refaire le même truc.
When Stanley...
What?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Allez, on va par là. Ah. Ah ouais, d'accord. Ouah.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Mais non!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ouais. Donc là, les deux portes... Oh, il n'y en a pas cette fois.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Ok. Je touche tout, hein. J'essaye de tout ouvrir.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Hein?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ouah.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ah, j'ai envie, je suis pas allé là, encore.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on. You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably comes into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Le jeu pète un câble. La 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 la. Financier record. Calme-toi le jeu là.
Wait, cut the music.
Ah
Go
oui.
back and look at that fern.
Quoi?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Imprime écran. Non, je vais pas tricher.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line,
No,
you do
no,
know
no,
we're
no.
looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ok.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ah merde.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
437.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Mais qu'est-ce que quoi là?
Go
On en
wild.
tourne en rond.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Merde, faut que j'y retourne. Très bien, très bien, très bien.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Elle est pas en forme la ligne. Hein. Ah, par là-bas elle.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Bah non. Vous avez joué la fin troublante pendant...
Hold up, what's this?
Ouais.
Hmm.
Premier démarrage, sixième démarrage, huitième...
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The,
Casser le cycle.
whatever it is that
Stanley
made
essaie de
this
suivre l'histoire,
schedule?
mais il
How
est
would we
empêché.
even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
What?
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
What the hell
When
is
Stanley
that?
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
Ouais, je vais le faire une fois, on va voir. La première fois que je le fais, je crois. Porte de gauche, le premier coup. Ah non, bah non, c'est la salle de réunion.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5. forgot. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
C'était pour rigoler. Très bien, j'ai mis n'importe quoi. Tu en avances pour une fois, c'est plus à 17h30. Bonjour à tous, c'est 00 le code, peut-être. Et non, le jam 17h30, tout à l'heure, je le mettrai, c'est parce que là je suis en vacances, donc tu vois, les... Bon, ce jeu, c'est extrêmement bizarre. Hein. Je sais pas si tu connais Stanley Parable. C'est un jeu ou c'est pas un jeu? C'est... Quoi?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the
Tu les mérites tes vacances, arrête, n'est-ce pas hein? Et toi d'ailleurs?
When for years,
t'as eu un petit peu de vacances, t'as pu un peu te reposer ou pas de vacances en moyen juillet-août? J'espère quand même que tu as un petit peu de vacances. Merde, non, je voulais pas faire ça.
Oops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly.
Non, oh.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just
sachant
lead
que ça le
back to
ramènerait
his
droit
boss's
vers le bureau de
office?
son
Well,
chef.
That's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Donc c'est un jeu, en fait, t'as un narrateur qui raconte ce que tu fais. Et en fait, le but, c'est... Alors, soit... Ça fait 3 semaines que j'ai repris. Ah, ok. Et tu passes ton temps à
Here we are,
désobéir.
Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling.
Alors,
that
tu
you
vois,
have,
c'était
an
pas 0-0.
incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Bon, en vrai, je crois qu'il n'y a rien à faire. Ouais, c'est un jeu qui est pas un jeu. En fait, c'est... Peut-être une sorte de... Le
Now
volet
he's
qui
getting
retourne à
back into the
l'ascenseur et qui
elevator and
redescend.
going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he
Mesdames
keep
et messieurs,
coming
mais
up with
d'où lui
all
viennent
of
toutes
this?
ces idées?
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Ce que je fais là. Je sais pas trop ce... Je vais me barrer. Je vais prendre le escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ça me paraît pas très engageant tout ça. Bon allez, on y va. Je suis pas mort.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
Ah oui, d'accord, je vais me faire écrabouiller là.
No great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Aha! Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Ça marche toujours pas les alertes là?
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Ah, attends, bouge pas. Bouge. Ah bah il y a plus de jeu. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est que ces histoires? Si je fais ça. Ça marche. Si je fais ça. Alors. Trigger Fire. Qu'est-ce qu'il nous fait, Trigger Fire? Alors attends, on va essayer de Trigger Fire. Parce que c'est lui qui nous casse les bonbons, là. Raciste des poils? Comment ça, raciste des poils? Qu'est-ce que c'est, ces histoires, là? Bonjour, Pilope. Mess. Bah pourquoi ça marche pas? Ça marche? Ah ah! C'est intéressant. Enfin, intéressant. Pas vraiment, mais... Les musclés en fond d'écran, c'est ça. Ah! Eh bien, je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas pourquoi Trigger Fire ne marche pas. J'imagine que... Ça marche pas non plus. Ah si, la vidéo est là, mais il n'y a pas le son. Alors, Alors, au fait, sur FM, j'ai fait un match amical entre ma U et mes U19 avec 11 remplaçants pour chaque équipe. Quand j'ai fait mes changements, je me suis rendu compte que j'en avais que 7. Alors là, aucune idée. Donc c'est le son qui déconne. Et pourquoi ça déconne? Pourquoi il n'y a que le son qui déconne? Si je fais... Hein? Ah oui, d'accord. Moi aussi, je suis limité. Super. Super, bravo. La caverne. T'as une caverne, là. Bon, alors, t'as une caverne, mais il n'y a pas de caverne. Alors attends, qu'est-ce qui se passe là? Ah non, il y a le son pourtant. Trigger Fire. Ah, attends. Allez là. Peut-être que c'est ça. Vous voyez où? Ah. Was passiert? Donc du coup, si je fais ça là, hein, je vois Trigger Fire qui... Je vois sa input. Alors là... Je vais la relancer. Alors... Voice Mutual Auxon Input, pourtant, c'est le bon truc. Tu me payes PCM en attendant? Comme ça. Mec, il est comme ça, lui. Alors, Trigger Fire. Propriété. C'est casse-bonbon, ça, les alertes qui marchent plus, là. Paramètres des sources. Trigger Fire. Et je crois que mes alertes non plus marchent plus. Ouais, les alertes non plus marchent plus. Oh putain. Ah putain de putain de putain de putain. Ah puis ma caméra marche plus non plus. Ma caméra a refreeze. Oh non mais là, c'est pas possible là. Je viens de plier la caméra là. Elle marchait jusque là. J'ai tout pété. J'ai tout... Ah bah là, il n'y a plus rien qui marche. Non, la caméra. J'ai tout pété. Vidéo capture. Propriété. Oh non, mais là, ça devient casse-couille, hein. Donc ça vient pas d'NVIDIA Broadcast, ça vient d'autre chose. Enfin, ça vient peut-être d'NVIDIA Broadcast quand même, un peu. Oh, puis il y a une mise à jour Windows. Il n'y a que le micro, malheureusement. Ah ouais, c'est ça. Ça c'est quoi? C'est ça, quitter. Vous m'avez fait tout casser aussi, là. Pourquoi ça marche plus, les alertes, là? Oh là là. Quel chienlit. C'est un chienlit. Tout marchait bien. Tout marchait bien, et puis tout marche plus, maintenant. Goudoum. Vidéo. Caméra. Caméra. Caméra, elle est où? Caméra. Caméra. S'il vous plaît, caméra. Oula, je suis très sombre. Ah non, ça y est. Bon, bah... Mais qu'est-ce que vous voulez que je vous dise, moi? Les alertes qui marchent plus, là. Pourquoi? En plus, je vois que ça module sur le... Je vois que ça module dans le son. Je vois que c'est un truc de fou, quoi. Allô, allô, allô? On ira... Non! Restez là. Alors, le micro, il marche. Le son du jeu. Le son du jeu, il marche. Alors, attends. Je sais que, ça c'est une certitude, je sais qu'il y a eu une mise à jour Windows et que la mise à jour Windows a fait chier la bite. Ça c'est sûr. Ah, ah. Alors, si je fais ça... Propriété... Si je fais ça... Ça, et que là je fais ça... A priori, ça ne marche pas mieux, hein. Ça ne marche pas mieux. Ça module, c'est beau. C'est beau, ça module, mais ça fait rien. J'essaye. Paramètres de source pour trigger fear. Quoi? Comment ça, faire ça là?
Moi, quand j'étais jeune, le Dorlo, dans 20-30 ans, il n'y en aura plus. J'espère que non.
Paramètres des sources. Les sources. Hello Tony Roy, merci pour le lurk, merci. Je suis en plein désarroi avec mes alertes, mais merci pour le lurk. Alors pourquoi ça marche plus?
Moi, quand j'étais jeune,
Comment ça, il rate rien? Il rate tout. Enfin là, en ce moment, non, c'est vrai. Là, en ce moment, il rate rien, mais normalement, il rate des trucs. Vidéo, c'est quoi ça?
j'espère que non.
Non, ça c'est pas bon. Chatbox, on s'en fout. Plane 9, pas de son. Trigger Fire. Ah, c'est Trigger Fire qui me fait chier là. Si, j'ai lu Nice, Benfica, personne diffuse, ok. Canal met un match de PL en face de la reprise de L1 gratos, ok. Canal et Bein font tout pour planter le lancement de l'FP+. Ok, sinon, rien, c'est juste pour être sûr que tout va bien. Riolo. Je lis toujours mon chat. Canal diffuse l'Europe. Ouais. Alors. Pourquoi mes alertes ne fonctionnent pas?
Moi, quand j'étais jeune,
Et là, si je fais un test...
le Dorlo, dans 20-30 ans, il n'y en aura plus.
Ça marche pas non plus.
J'espère que non.
Ça ne marche pas non plus. Mais par contre, ça marche. Bon, eh bien... Tac, je vais revenir dans le jeu. Je ferai une pause à 17h. Comme ça, je reviens à 17h30. Donc, 1 heure. Couloir. Le joueur se sûre d'atteindre les 2 portes au bon moment. Plan du bureau. Ouais, ok, d'accord. Tableau de paysage, ok. Bien. C'est l'heure du goûter, effectivement. Armoire de rangement, d'accord. Ordinateur de bureau. Voilà. Je les éteins, les ordinateurs de bureau. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Son de bouton. Ok. Ce jeu est bizarre, hein. Le bureau. Salle de maintenance. Zone de guerre. Quoi? Annonce Ultra Deluxe. C'est la version Ultra Deluxe installée par Lab au Game Award. Voici les captures tirées des écrans. Are you au rock? Êtes-vous... Après la deuxième annonce de publié, nous avons demandé aux gens d'envoyer des questions par email au narrateur. Nous continuons de nous installer pour promouvoir encore le jeu, mais nous avons... On les a fait une sélection de ces emails. Ouais, ok, d'accord. Le bureau. Ok. Le minuteur de l'appartement. Oui, première version du jeu, maintenant à la fin de l'appartement. Un minuteur, vous laissez 15 secondes pour décrocher le clonel, ne pas décrocher, mais il y a une autre fin. Ok. Monde charge. Non mais c'est que j'ai terminé le jeu en vrai là? Maintenance, launch, plan de maintenance, salle de réunion. M'étonnerait. Levier de la fin relaxante. Ces leviers se trouvaient dans la fin relaxante. Le joueur devait actionner un levier et le narrateur décrivait la couleur du levier choisi. Modèle de fin relaxante. Fin relaxante. Oh, quoi ça? Compte à rebours. Ascenseur de la salle. Fin de la liberté. Voici la fin de la liberté telle qu'elle apparaissait dans la bêta. Bureau de Stanley, gauche à droite, l'évolution du bureau de Stanley au fil du temps. Le premier guide de 2011, 2012 et 2013. Ah oui, ok. Et je fais quoi moi? Dans tout ça, je fais quoi? Rien? Ça ressemble à une fin, mais une fin de quoi? De non-recevoir? Bureau du chef, ok. Là, il y a quoi là? Tout seul, salle de pause. Ah, tiens. Scène coupée de narration. Du jeu à peu près 3 fois au cours des 2 années de développement. Voici des extraits.
Stanley walked over the bridge.
Ok, d'accord. Recommencer le jeu.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Voilà, on arrive là.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ah! Ah ah! 3 sur 5 input.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Fin de loup.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Ok. Stanley Parable. Extrêmement étrange comme jeu. Hein.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Ah oui,
Control
moi j'avais fait
Facility.
Escape. Alors, on va essayer d'aller là cette fois.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place.
Moi 427, je suis où là? Je suis là. Je suis au milieu là. Là. Ah ouais, bah ouais, c'est bien mon bureau, ah, d'accord.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Ah, je peux rien faire là. Ok. J'espère que tu vas aimer. Ah, tiens.
And when
System
at
power.
last he found the source of the room's power...
Manque un S à no spoil. Ah, pré-poil. Ah, c'est pour ça que tu me disais nos poils. Passis des poils.
blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty.
C'est un... J'ai une pub avec des rasoirs.
Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Ah, le
No
lâcher
longer
prise,
would
oh,
anyone
oui.
tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
J'ai réussi à sortir
The
du truc.
feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ouais. De toute façon, il y a une histoire avec ces ordis, là.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries?
Ah!
Did something crucial happen while
4
my
sur
senses
5.
were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Ah,
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
ouais.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Give me the content.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
C'est une blague. Je recommence. Hop! Welcome Stanley to heaven. Ah! J'espère que c'est pas le but du jeu de d'éteindre tous les boutons là. Parce qu'il y en a beaucoup quoi. Surtout qu'ils se rallument en plus après. Ils sont différents ceux-là. Ouais. Ah ouais d'accord. Et je fais quoi moi là, Jean-Guy? C'est un peu... Bon. Attendez, bougez pas, je veux juste regarder. Alors... Super. Donc ça c'est la fin, c'est une des fins du jeu. Bravo. Ah. Ok d'accord, donc on va le laisser hein, cette fois, hein, l'ordinateur. Hein.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Par contre, je peux sauter maintenant. Oh. Je vais aller chez la femme. Ah, je veux pas aller là, moi.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Avec le téléphone, peut-être que je peux
Perhaps he
monter sur le
wanted to stop
canapé
by the
maintenant.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. What a room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for... This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Voilà, on va décrocher le téléphone. On va voir si je peux monter sur le canapé.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
On peut pas.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Merde. Ah bah merde. Ah bah merde.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. Oh, new content? What does...
Commencer le jeu. Hein?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
What? J'ai commandé un truc là?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Là, je peux descendre. Là, il y avait l'histoire. Ah oui, attends.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Sans moudre.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ah, la dernière fois, je suis passé par la bleue. Mais j'ai peut-être passé par la rouge cette fois. Je l'ai jamais fait.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Merde.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for?
Ouais, ok.
Here. Yes.
What?
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Qu'est-ce qui passe? Oh, des feux d'artifice, des trucs, des bidules. Est-ce que ça va faire quelque chose, ça, à la fin? Un trou du cul, peut-être? Peut-être. Bon, a priori, non.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Pourquoi je mourrais, oui.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Sautons.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Ah!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Passez haut! C'est passé haut!
Is it over?
Ah.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Ah,
All of his co-workers were
ah,
gone.
c'est quoi ça?
What could it mean?
Quoi ce
Stanley
bordel?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
C'est les colis qu'on a récupérés? Ah ouais, d'accord, c'est un peu le bordel, là. Ah, c'est pas fait pour.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Merde.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Non mais c'est pas normal ça.
The Stanley Parable...
Ouais, je peux recommencer le jeu là, parce que là, j'ai fait bugger le truc.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Ah merde. Je voulais aller là-bas, mais apparemment c'est pas possible.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Ouais.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Ah oui, je suis...
All
Ah,
right,
on est à
let's
9.
see, it's the jump circle. Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Ouais, je vais aller faire donner le dernier saut quand même. Hein. Ok. Ok, bah on a sauté quoi. On a sauté 30 fois.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when
Merci
greedy
pour
video
aimer le
game
nouveau
developers with
nouveau
no
contenu.
respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks, just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
N'importe quoi. Oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Non, j'y vais pas. Bon, allez. Je vais aller voir quand même.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Ah, excellent! Si. Si, on se mangerait une bonne petite glace. Si, tout à fait. Tu as tout à fait raison.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember
British
back in
Academy of
October
Film
of
Television.
2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Buy on Steam. Smile because it happened. Don't play for 5 years. C'est un vrai trophée, ça? Ne jouez pas pour pendant 5 ans. Ah, citron framboise, ça c'est bon, ça. Ça c'est un vrai, vrai parfum de glace. Citron framboise, là, mais bien sûr.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley?
Dernier
Every
stream,
game
4
ever
juillet.
created.
Ça fait un mois
That's
que t'as
how
pas stream, c'est
grand
ça?
and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ah, c'est beau. Ah, c'est ouvert. Je voulais aller là, moi.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Ils sont fous. Serious Room.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Un vélo? Les pneus de mon vélo sont souples. Ah, elle est là maintenant.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
Ah là
I
là
haven't
là
looked
là
at
là
these
là
in
là
years.
là là là.
I can't even imagine what's been collecting
Ça
down
va
here.
être
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
des critiques de gens. Ah, ça va être énorme. Avec le
Honestly, I
nom
could
de la
not be bothered to play
personne.
this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art.
Attends, alors là,
I
par
suppose I
contre,
could write up a...
Buglivia, je dois vérifier. Je dois vérifier si sur Steam... Alors, Stanley Parable. Les critiques. Est-ce qu'on peut faire une recherche? On va faire une recherche. Merde. Type du négative. Non mais tais-toi. Non mais tais-toi. Attends, ça marche chez vous ça, vous savez? Ah si, vous l'avez ça, bon, on s'en fout.
Handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
J'imagine que c'est eux qui ont dû mettre un commentaire mauvais. Ce serait énorme qu'ils aient pris un vrai mauvais commentaire d'un gars. Ce serait vraiment génial. Unfunny!
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Ben. Et je vais où moi maintenant? Ah, je suis arrivé là. Ah oui, bah par là, tiens. Ah, vivement la rentrée, hein! Vivement la rentrée, qu'on revoit du WoW, qu'on revoit des petits jeux de gestion là et tout là. Aïe 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 aïe.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and... Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought, or rather, to all of the choices you've ever made, in fact make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite. You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time, by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it.
Pas trop.
But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
J'imagine que...
Manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their
C'est
Steam
génial.
review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. No, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time.
Cookie 9.
The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of depravity. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Une semaine.
I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly... Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one
Ouais, c'est fait
entire
pour,
year?
le gros début.
Let me describe it for you.
C'est fait
To
pour.
begin with, there is only regret. There is
C'est
only
fait
the
pour, le
turning wheel
bouton,
of
le
missed
bouton.
opportunities.
Salut à
I
toi.
felt nothing
Le
at all
bouton
but
passe
regret
qui a
for the
été
longest
rajouté, c'est
time,
fait exprès.
days,
C'est
months.
extrêmement
I lost
bien
it all
pensé.
in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the
Parce que
past.
d'habitude, il parle pas, c'est
And when
juste
that
des petites
feeling
phrases
had
comme ça.
begun to subside, What took its place is what I can only describe as the
La plante
collapse
derrière
of
qui a
every
cramé.
moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed
Et j'hésite
down
à
into a
cliquer.
single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart.
Je sais pas combien de temps peut
It was
durer
an impossibly
la...
rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed
Ouais,
by
allez hop. Ah. Ah bah il est plus là. Ah. Je vais peut-être devoir... Ah bah il n'y a plus de piles. Tu vas bien, gros dévi, autrement? Les vacances et tout? Ah. Est-ce que quoi?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said.
T'as dit,
First,
parle
he
trop.
didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there for...
Bon, j'espère que c'est pour des bonnes raisons. Bah écoute, ça va bien, ça va bien. Moi, je reviens de vacances. J'ai passé 15 jours en vacances, là. Ah. Toujours pas de porte.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Mais donnez-moi une porte, bordel! Ah! Ah ah! Peut-être y avoir un truc qui va se passer, hein! À force. Je sais pas combien de temps il a pu se passer, là? 1000 ans? Oh! Des plantes! Ah, plus de plantes. La fin du monde. Oula! Ah! Ah merde! Ah merde! Ah merde! Là je crois que c'est la terminade. Hein. Bon, je vais essayer de marcher tout droit là vers les montagnes. On va voir. On va voir si on peut arriver quelque part. Il n'est pas impossible que je doive relancer le jeu. C'est peut-être une des fins, ça. Hein. Peut-être. Ouais. Eh oui, c'était une des fins. Ah là 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 là.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah bah ils sont tous
No
allumés.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a
J'éteins tout, moi.
trace of his
J'éteins tout. Je
co-workers.
suis un gueudin. Ah, new content, new content. Attends, on peut débrancher ça.
Oh, good. You noticed my smile. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Qu'est-ce qu'il va y avoir encore? Le machin où on
You
va
see,
sauter là?
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything
Casse tout.
scientific
Bah
or
ouais, non,
logical.
mais c'est pas moi. Les alertes, je sais pas pourquoi. 17h04, ouais, j'avais dit que j'allais arrêter. This way. On peut pas aller dans l'autre sens. New content.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course,
Non, parce que j'avais dit que j'arrêterais un tout petit peu avant pour essayer de réparer les alertes, prendre une petite demi-heure pour réparer mes alertes avant de faire le jams à 17h30.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind,
Il n'est jamais à l'heure.
forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
et devenez Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Évidemment que non.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Ah, il a enlevé le bouton Jim. Sinon, ce que je fais, c'est que je me dis que les alertes, remarcheront un autre jour. Et je termine ma petite session de Stanley Parable.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Eh oui, c'est ça. Que les gens qui s'appellent Jim. Évidemment. Please, no screenshot.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Évidemment. Évidemment, j'ai choisi l'autre.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly.
On fait toujours les mauvais choix, mais nous devons toujours apprendre nos erreurs. Oh la vache, mais tout ce qu'il y a à faire! The jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Collectible. Oh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Sortie, cercle pour sauter. 6 maps. Free New Easy Achievement. Trou sans fond.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
est-ce qu'il me dit un truc si je me barre? Ah non.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Ah! Ouais. Me casse.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Par là, y a quoi?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Immense bond en avant. Donc j'imagine que là, si je saute...
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Alors, qu'est-ce que j'ai pas vu encore? Infinity. Tum, tum, tum. Paramètres champion du monde. J'aurais bien voulu moi voir ça là, pourquoi je peux pas ça moi? That's new. Bouton qui dit gym. pas aller là.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Attends. On va y retourner. Ah, non. Le bouton qui dit Jim. Alors, c'est quoi ça? Red is the new orange. Quoi? Trou presque sans fond, ah voilà. Ah, c'est quoi ça? Réassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Ah ouais?
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Le saut du
You
réconfort.
see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Ah, je peux ressortir avec le saut. Très bien.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
Meilleur saut.
That
jeu
really
vidéo.
should be an award if it isn't already.
Mais n'importe quoi. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a là? Hein? Ouais. C'est quoi ça? Ça c'est le trou? Va monter! Pas l'air con avec ce saut là, tiens. It's new, that's new. Et new partout. Setting World Champion, ça je l'ai vu, hein. Ça je l'ai vu, Office Decoration. Collective. All free achievement, ok. 6 map, jump share. J'ai tout fait. Peut-être pas le 3. 6 décoration. Lower level. Comment on va upper level? Un escalator là ou un truc dans ce genre là? Ah. Saut de réconfort, la décoration de bureau. Décoration de bureau. Par là? Ah, c'est le saut, ça. Ouais, non. Il reste plus que 10 minutes avant de lancer la deuxième session sur Ascent. Un jeu d'intellectuel. You add Jim in the game? Ok, d'accord. Jim. Jim. Ok. Par là, peut-être? Ah, je suis Monty. Ah, mais là, c'est un truc qui est bloqué, là. C'est les paramètres, je sais pas quoi, là. Paramètres champion du monde, là. Il veut pas m'ouvrir! Ah, mais de toute façon, bah oui, j'ai tout fait, alors, là. Très bien.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Non, encore!
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Ah, ouais. Qu'est-ce qu'il va vouloir me montrer? La même chose que tout à l'heure, j'imagine. Hop là.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that
C'est la même
legacy.
chose.
So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
bien. Bon, eh bien écoutez-moi les petits amis, on va arrêter Stanley Parable. De toute façon, a priori le jeu terminado. C'était pour passer l'après-midi. 3-4 heures, c'est à peu près le temps qu'il faut. Alors, on va se lancer dans The Ascent, deuxième session. Tac, je vais changer le titre. Alors on va faire retour au menu.